My name is Anne Zachary, and I'm the chair and an associate professor in the Department of Occupational Therapy in the College of Health Professions. My top teaching tip would be to share the relevance of what you're going to cover in your session with the students at the beginning of the session. Let me give you an example. Several years ago, I was teaching a class on evidence-based practice, and I covered the material, and we did some active learning strategies. I gave a lecture and explained what evidence-based practice was, and then I followed up with a quiz. So I was shocked to find that the students did poorly on the quiz. I was really disappointed, and I couldn't figure out what went wrong. So I did some reading, had some reflection, and I came across that concept of using a relevant example at the front end of the lesson and how that would help the students remember the material better. So the next time I covered that lesson, I started with this story. I told them about when I was working with a little girl who had a brain tumor in her occupational therapy session. Her father was actually observing the session, and at the end of the session, I met him at the door, and he asked me, how do you know what you're doing with her is making a difference, is going to help her get better? And it took me aback, but I knew the answer. I told him, I said, it's because I used clinical and research-based techniques. These techniques have been researched and proven to be effective. And he looked so relieved. He actually walked away with a little bit of lightness in his step that I hadn't seen before. So that was really nice. And I shared that story with the students at the beginning of the lesson. And then I followed up with the lecture. We did the active learning activities, and then I gave the students the same quiz. And I couldn't believe it. It blew me away. They all did extremely well on the quiz. So my top teaching tip is to share the relevance of what you're teaching on the front end of the lesson, and you won't regret it.